Good morning, students. Today we are going to see nature of roots and nature of coefficients of polynomial equations. So first we are taking the imaginary roots. On that we are going to see the important theorem, that is complex conjugate root theorem. Okay. If a complex number z0 is a root of the polynomial equation with real coefficients, then its complex conjugate z0 the whole bar is also a root. So complex conjugate theorem, what it says, if imaginary root is the imaginary number is a root of that equation, means whose conjugate is also is the root of that equation. Okay, so see now the imaginary number is denoted as z0. If z0 is a root of the polynomial equation, then z0 the whole bar is also the root of the polynomial equation. In other words, we can say imaginary number occurs in conjugate pairs. So imaginary number occurs in conjugate pairs. That is a complex conjugate root theorem. Okay, so we are going to see the proof of it. So I have taken p of x, that is a polynomial, okay, with the real coefficients. Okay, so first you see the equation an x power n plus an minus 1 x power n minus 1 plus etc. a1 x plus a naught, it is equal to 0. This is the polynomial equation, okay, of degree n. See the coefficients an minus 1, an minus 2, etc. a1, a naught, they are nothing but real numbers. So that's why it is a polynomial equation with the real coefficients. So the coefficients of that equations are real numbers. Here I have taken z0 be the root of this polynomial equation. So in the polynomial equation solve பண்ணும்போது you will get the imaginary number z0 is a root. So what we have to prove, z0 bar is also the root of the equation. So z0 is a root means this z0 has to satisfy this equation. So that is p of z0 is equal to 0. Okay, what we have to prove? We have to prove z0 bar is also the root. So z0 bar has to satisfy the equation. So we have to prove p of z0 the whole bar is equal to 0. What's the meaning of it? P of z0 the whole bar is equal to 0. Now we have to bring it in the place of x as z0 the power z0 bar. Okay, wherever you are having x, you have to bring it z0 the power z0 bar. Okay, so in that equation, so you consider what is given, z0 is the root of this polynomial equation. So I'll consider the p of z0. So p of z0 is what? Wherever you are having x and p of x, you have to substitute z0. So what it is? an z0 the whole power n plus an minus 1 z0 the whole power n minus 1 plus etc. a1 z0 plus a naught is equal to 0. So because z0 is a root of this equation, so z0 satisfy the equation. Now you are going to take conjugate on both the sides. So the whole conjugate on both the sides. So in conjugate, in the complex number, you know that z1 plus z2 the whole bar, okay, can be written as z1 bar plus z2 bar. So therefore the whole conjugate can be written as z1 bar plus z2 bar. So the conjugate of sum of two complex number is equal to sum of their conjugate. So here I have written each term separately along with their conjugate. So therefore an z0 the whole power n whole bar plus an minus 1 z0 the whole power n minus 1 the bar whole bar plus etc. a1 z0 bar plus a naught z bar. A naught bar is equal to 0 bar. Okay, so you see now z1 z2 the whole bar. If the complex number or product, the whole bar can be written as z1 bar, z2 bar. Okay, so here an z0 power n the whole bar can be written as an bar z naught power n whole bar plus a n minus 1 bar into z naught power n minus 1 bar plus etc. a1 bar z naught bar plus a naught bar is equal to 0 bar. So I have said an minus 1, a1, a naught, they are all real numbers, so real coefficients. You see that if we have real numbers means 5. What is 5 bar? It is 5. Okay, so what is 3 plus I the whole bar is 3 minus I, because we have to change the sign of the imaginary part, so that is 3 minus I. Okay, if we have 5 bar means it is 5 only, so therefore an minus 1, a1, a naught, they are real numbers, so the conjugate of the real number is the real number itself, so an bar is equal to an. And in the complex number property, zn the whole bar can be written as z bar the whole power n. So using the property for this complex number, z naught bar the whole power n. So it's a real number. Which one? An minus 1. So therefore an minus 1 bar is equal to an minus 1, and you can interchange the conjugate and the power. So z naught bar the whole power n minus 1 plus etc. a1 is a real number, so a1 bar is a1, and z naught bar we have to write z naught bar plus a naught is a real number, it's a constant, so a naught bar also a naught, and 0 is a real number, so it is 0 bar is 0. Now you see that in the place of, you see in this equation p of x, the p of x, in the place of x, now what you are having? You are having z naught bar. So in the place of x, you are having z naught bar. That means z naught bar satisfies the equation. So z naught bar is the root of the p of x is equal to 0. Okay, so therefore what is your conclusion? Z naught is a root means its conjugate z naught bar is also the root of the polynomial equation. That means imaginary number occurs as roots, its conjugate also is the root of the same polynomial equation. Okay, so see now the next one, we are moving to the irrational roots. For that you are having two theorems. You see that P and Q are rational numbers. P and Q, we are taking the rational number such that root Q is irrational. Okay, so P and Q rational number, but we have to take root Q is a irrational number. So P plus root Q, P is a rational number, root Q is a irrational number. Such numbers are called surds, S-U-R-D, surd. Okay, so P plus root Q is a root of the quadratic equation with rational coefficients. This is a root of the quadratic equation, means P minus root Q is also the root of the same equation. So previously we have seen z naught is a root, that is a z naught is an imaginary number. So for example 3 plus I, so imaginary number you know very well, real part and the imaginary part you will have. So 3 plus I is a root means 3 minus the conjugate is also the root of the same polynomial. Now we are having, what is that, 5 plus root 3 is a root of the quadratic equation, means 5 minus root 3. They are not an imaginary number, we don't have I here, but it is a, what is it, rational number, 5 plus root 3. 5 plus root 3 is a root of the equation, means 5 minus root 3 is also the root of the equation. That is in the irrational root theorem. And the next one, let P and Q be rational number. We are taking the same P and Q be rational number, so that root P and root Q are irrational numbers. So root Q, root P and root Q are irrational number. Further off, let one of root P and root Q be not a rational multiple of other. One is not a multiple of other. If we have taken like this, root P plus root Q is a root of the polynomial equation with rational coefficients. What are the roots you will have? Root P minus root Q, minus root P plus root Q, and minus root P minus root Q are also the root of the same polynomial equation. See, root p, root q, how they are? They are irrational numbers. Sorry, they are irrational number. So root p plus root q is a root of the polynomial equation. Means with rational coefficients, root p minus root q minus root p plus root q minus root p minus root q are also the root of the same polynomial equations. Using these three theorem, we are going to do the problem. So see the exercise 3.2 first problem. If k is real, discuss the nature of the roots of the polynomial equation 2x square plus kx plus k is equal to 0 in terms of k. So see this equation 2x squared plus kx plus k. You will have x squared term, x term and the constant term. So it is a quadratic equation. It's a polynomial equation of degree 2 which is called as a quadratic equation. So quadratic equation you have to consider, and we know that using discriminant, that is b squared minus 4ac, we are going to find the roots of the polynomial equation. You know very well. You see b squared minus 4ac, that is the discriminant. B squared minus 4ac is equal to 0 means how the roots are? For the quadratic equation, the roots are real and equal. So real roots and equal. So b squared minus 4ac is greater than 0 means the roots are real and distinct. Real and distinct. And the discriminant b squared minus 4ac less than 0 means the roots are imaginary. You know very well, we have studied in 9th standard. Okay, so see that for the quadratic equation, using the discriminant, we can discuss the nature of the roots. B squared minus 4ac equal to 0 means the roots are real and equal. The discriminant greater than 0 means the roots are real and distinct. Unequal, distinct we can say unequal. B squared minus 4ac less than 0 means the roots are imaginary. Okay, so for that we have to find the discriminant first. So you know that the coefficient of x squared is nothing but a. So a is equal to 2 and b is equal to k. C is equal to k. C is a constant, here it is k. B is nothing but the coefficient of x. Okay, find out the discriminant. What is it? B squared minus 4ac. So your b is what? K squared minus 4 into, what is your a? 2 into k. So k squared minus 8k. From that, if you take k out, it is k minus 8. So k into k minus 8, that is your discriminant. Okay, you see now, when it will become 0, the discriminant equal to 0 means the roots are real and equal. When the discriminant will become 0, if you substitute k as 0, k 0 means it is 0 into anything, 0. And k is equal to 8 if we substitute this also, b squared minus 4ac is 0. So when k is equal to 0 or k is equal to 8, the discriminant is equal to 0. If the discriminant is 0 means the roots how they are? Real and equal. So therefore the polynomial equation has real and equal roots. Okay, so see the discriminant. What is it? B squared minus 4ac. Okay, so see now 0 less than k less than 8. In the second case, we have taken 0 less than k less than 8. Upper k how it is? Positive. Because k how it is? Greater than 0. So it is positive. But it should be less than 8. So we'll take one number. K is equal to, what is it? 4. So k is equal to 4. So the discriminant value is what? K into k minus 8. So you will have 4 into 4 minus 8. So here it is positive because we have taken k is positive. Okay, and this k how it should be? Less than 8. Less than 8 means here k minus 8 how it is? Negative. So here you will have positive. So positive into negative is negative. So therefore the discriminant b squared minus 4ac less than 0. Okay, so k is less than 8 means this k minus 8 is negative. So the discriminant is less than 0. Okay, if the discriminant less than 0, the roots are imaginary roots. So therefore 0 less than k less than 8, your b squared minus 4ac is less than 0 because this factor k minus 8 is negative. So the quadratic equation has imaginary roots. Next one, what is left out? Real and distinct roots is there. See, k is positive as well as you see k greater than 8. K greater than 8. K positive. So here it is positive. K greater than 8. Now for example we can take 9. 9 minus 8 is positive. So positive into positive is positive. So when k greater than 8, your b squared minus 4ac greater than 0. So therefore the quadratic equation has real and distinct roots. Okay, we'll come to the second problem. Find a polynomial equation of minimum degree. So we have to write the polynomial equation with minimum degree with rational coefficients having 2 plus root 3i as a root. 2 plus root 3i, what number it is? 2 plus root 3i, it's an imaginary number. So we have learned complex conjugate root theorem. So one imaginary number is a root now. Its conjugate is also the root of the equation. So we know that imaginary roots occur in conjugate pairs. Okay, that means one imaginary root is a root of that equation, means its conjugate also the root of the same equation. So here it is given 2 plus root 3i is a root of the polynomial equation, means 2 minus root 3i is also the root of the polynomial equation. So how many roots you are having? 2 roots. So we can form the polynomial equation of degree 2, minimum degree only. So we'll take polynomial equation of degree 2. So for that alpha and beta is there. So to form the quadratic equation we need sum of the roots. So 2 plus root 3i plus 2 minus root 3i. So plus root 3i and minus root 3i getting cancelled. 2 plus 2 is 4. Next alpha into beta we have to find out, that is product of the roots. So 2 plus root 3i into 2 minus root 3i. How they are? They are in the form of a plus ib into a minus ib. Okay, so they are the complex numbers. So you can have the real part the whole squared, z bar, it is z bar. So the formula is real part the whole squared plus imaginary part the whole squared. That is, what is the real part? A squared. What is the imaginary part? B, that is b squared. So here your real part is 2 and the imaginary part is root 3. So we should not write I. So it is 2 squared is 4 and plus root 3 the whole square is 3. So the product of the roots is 7. So how to write the quadratic equation? X squared minus alpha plus beta, that is sum of the roots, into x plus product of the roots is equal to 0. So x squared, what is the sum of the roots we have found? It is 4 here. Sum of the roots is equal to 4 and product of the roots is 7. So x squared minus 4x plus 7 is equal to 0. So we formed a polynomial equation with a minimum degree 2, that is a quadratic equation. What is given? So one imaginary root is given. So using the complex conjugate root theorem we have found the quadratic equation. Coming to the same way, find a polynomial equation of minimum degree with rational coefficient having 2i plus 3 as a root. 2i plus 3, what is that? It's an imaginary root. The same theorem, what is that? Complex conjugate root theorem. That is what? Imaginary root occurs in conjugate pair. So what is the conjugate of this? Conjugate means you have to change the sign of the imaginary part. Which is the imaginary part? 2i. So therefore 3 minus 2i is also the root of the equation. So you will have how many roots? 2 roots. So we can form the polynomial equation of degree 2. So we have to find alpha plus beta, that is sum of the roots. So when you add these 2 roots, the 2i and minus 2i getting cancelled, 3 plus 3 is 6, that is the sum of the roots. Next you need alpha into beta, that is product of the roots. So product of the roots 2 3 plus 2i into 3 minus 2i. So it is in the form of a plus ib into a minus ib. So real part the whole square plus imaginary part the whole square. So real part is 3 squared plus imaginary part is 2. So 2 squared. So that is 9 plus 4, that is 13. So two roots are there, so we can form the quadratic equation. The formula is x squared minus sum of the roots into x plus product of the roots is equal to 0, or otherwise we can say x squared minus alpha plus beta into x plus alpha beta is equal to 0. So therefore x squared, what is the sum of the roots? That is 6. So minus 6x plus 13 is equal to 0. And coming to the problem number 4. Find a polynomial equation of minimum degree with rational coefficients having root 5 minus root 3 as a root. You see the root? Root 5 minus root 3. Okay. So we have studied one theorem. What is that theorem? In irrational roots. Okay. P and Q are rational numbers. P and Q are rational numbers. So that root P and root Q are irrational numbers. So, and let one of root p and root q be not a rational multiple of other. Root 5, root 3. So, we can't write one is a rational multiple of other. And root 5 plus, what is it? Root p plus root q is the root of the polynomial equations. Means, what are the roots you can have? Root p minus root q minus root p plus root q and minus root p minus root q are also the root of the polynomial equation. So here what is given? Root 5 minus root 3 is a root of the polynomial equation. Means what are the roots? Root 5 plus root 3 minus root 5 plus root 3 and minus root 5 minus root 3 are also the root of the same polynomial equation. So we first consider root 5 minus root 3 and root 5 plus root 3. How many roots you are having? 2 roots. Using that you find the sum of the roots. So while you are adding, so it is minus root 3 and plus root 3 getting cancelled. Root 5 plus root 5 is 2 root 5. When you go for the product, it is root 5 minus root 3 plus root 5 plus root 3. They are not imaginary numbers. Imaginary number means if you have to use the formula z bar is equal to real part the whole square plus imaginary part the whole square. Here you have to use the formula. It is in the form of a plus b into a minus b. So they are not imaginary numbers. So a plus b, a minus b into a plus b is a squared minus b squared. You see now? A squared minus b squared. So therefore what is a? So a is root 5 the whole squared minus root 3 the whole squared. So that is equal to root 5 the whole squared is 5. 5 minus 3, that is equal to 2. Okay. See that they are not imaginary numbers. Imaginary number comes. So z bar. For that only you will have real part the whole squared plus imaginary part the whole squared. In between you will have plus. Okay. But here it is in the form of a plus b into a minus b. is your formula is, what is it? A plus b into a minus b means your formula is a squared minus b squared. Okay. So here root 5 minus root 3 into root 5 plus root 3 is equal to a square minus b square, that is equal to 2. So corresponding factor, I am not going to write the equation, I am going to write the corresponding factor because we have how many roots? 4 roots. So we can form the polynomial equation of degree 4. Okay, so first I will, using these 2 roots, I am going to find the factor. So what is the factor will come? It is x squared minus sum of the roots into x plus product of the roots. So x squared minus 2 root 5x plus 2. We are not writing the equation, we are writing the factor. So take the next 2 roots, root 5 plus root 3, minus root 5 plus root 3 and minus root 5 plus root 3 and minus root 5 minus root 3. So here you will have 2 roots. So you have to find the sum of the roots. So minus root 5 plus root 3 plus minus root 5 minus root 3. So plus root 3 and minus root 3 getting cancelled. Here you are having minus 2 root 5. And when you go for the product of the roots, you have to use the formula a plus b into a minus b. So it is a squared. So what is a? Minus root 5 the whole squared, that is 5. According a squared minus, so here in between I have written minus. B squared, what is B? Root 3. Root 3 the whole squared is 3. So 5 minus 3 is equal to 2. So the corresponding factor is x squared minus sum of the roots. So see now the factor is, what is it? X squared minus sum of the roots into x plus product of the roots. Okay, so x squared minus, what is the sum of the roots? In the sum of the roots you will have minus. So minus 2 root 5 into x plus the product of the roots is 2. So minus into minus will become plus. So x squared plus 2 root 5x plus 2. So here two factors are there. So we have to form the polynomial equation of degree 4. So when you multiply these two, you will get the polynomial equation of degree 4. And equation means you have to write it is equal to 0. So see now x squared plus 2, that has to be taken as it is a, and it is in the form of, you see now here you will have x squared minus 2 root 5x plus 2 into x squared plus 2 root 5x plus 2, okay, is equal to 0. So first you arrange x squared plus 2 minus 2 root 5x into x squared plus 2 plus 2 root 5x, okay, is equal to 0. So it is in the form of a minus b and a plus b. So a minus b into a plus b means it is a squared minus b squared is equal to 0. What is a? In the place of a you are having x squared plus 2 the whole square, minus in the place of b you are having 2 root 5x the whole square is equal to 0. So that's why I have written here x squared plus 2 the whole square minus 2 root 5x the whole square is equal to 0. When you expand, it is x power 4 plus 4x squared minus 2 squared is 4, root 5 the whole squared is 5 into x squared is equal to 0. When you arrange x power 4 plus 4x squared minus 20x squared plus 4 is equal to 0. So 4x squared minus 20x squared is minus 16x squared plus 4 is equal to 0. And coming to the next one, prove that a straight line and parabola cannot intersect at more than 2 points. 2 points மேல அது intersect ஆகுதுன்னு we have to prove. So first we will consider the equation of the parabola. So the simplest one, standard form, y squared is equal to 4ax. And the equation of the straight line we have taken y is equal to mx plus c. So what you have to do, I just solve these two. So y is equal to mx plus b, you have to substitute here. So in the place of y, it is mx plus c the whole squared is equal to 4ax. If you expand, it is a plus b the whole square. So a squared m squared x squared plus e squared plus 2mcx minus 4ax is equal to 0. So m squared x squared plus x, if you group, it is 2mc minus 4a into x plus e squared. How it does? It is a quadratic equation. So the quadratic equation whose roots are only 2, it cannot have more than 2 solutions. Quadratic equation, if you solve, you will have only 2 solutions. It cannot have more than 2 solutions. So therefore, this equation is from solving these two equations. So this is the quadratic equation. So it cannot have more than 2 solutions. So therefore, the line and the straight line and the parabola cannot intersect at more than 2 points. Okay. So we'll come to exercise 3.3. Solve the equation if sum of 2 of its roots vanishes. Sum of 2 of its roots vanishes. So first you consider the equation. It's a cubic equation because you will have x cube. So the coefficient of x cube is a. A is equal to 2 and b is equal to minus 1, c is equal to minus 18 and d is equal to 9. Okay. So the cubic equation means it has 3 roots. So one is alpha, another one is beta, another one is gamma. Be the root of the cubic equation. So first find out sum of the roots. So what is the formula? In the first exercise we have learned it is minus b by a. So it is minus of minus 1 by a is 2. So it is 1 by 2. Next, if you consider two roots at a time, so it is alpha beta plus a beta gamma plus alpha gamma is equal to, the formula is c by a. Your c is minus 18 by 2, that is minus 9, and alpha beta gamma, so alpha, the product of the roots is equal to minus d by a, so minus 9 by 2 we have found from the equation. So what is given, that sum of two of its roots vanishes, sum of two of its roots. So here we will have three roots, two roots only we will consider. So alpha and beta, if you add, that is equal to 0, it is given that. So you take the first result, what is it? Alpha plus beta plus gamma is equal to 1 by 2. On that you substitute alpha plus beta as 0. So this is the given condition. So we have found one root, gamma is equal to 1 by 2. Take the next one. Which one? Alpha beta gamma is equal to what it is? Minus 9 by 2. On that, gamma as 1 by 2 means you are getting alpha beta is equal to minus 9. This 2 and this 2 getting cancelled. Alpha beta is equal to minus 9. From that, alpha is equal to minus 9 by beta. You consider the third result, that is alpha beta plus beta gamma plus alpha gamma is equal to minus 9. What is alpha beta? We have taken it is minus 9. From these two, what is gamma is taken out means it's alpha plus beta. Don't substitute alpha plus beta as 0. So we have to find what is alpha and what is beta. So here we have found alpha in terms of beta, that has to be substituted here. Okay, so see, minus 9 minus 9, when you take it to the next side it is plus 9, so it is 0. So gamma is what? It is half. And if you take LCM, it is beta, so minus 9 plus beta square divided by 2 beta. So when you take it to the right side, it is 0. So beta squared is equal to 9, beta is equal to plus or minus 3. So when beta 3 means, you substitute here, alpha is equal to minus 9 by 3, that is minus 3, and beta minus 3 means alpha is equal to 3. So that your roots are 3 minus 3 and gamma is what? It is 1 by 2. So we have found all the three roots. And coming to the second problem, solve the equation, what is it? 9x cube minus 36x square plus 44 minus 16 is equal to 0 if the roots form an arithmetic progression. So arithmetic, they form an AP. So it is given that the roots on in AP. So we take the roots as a minus d, a plus d. Okay, they are in the arithmetic progression. So we'll take the roots are in the form of a minus d, a plus d. So you consider the cubic equation given. So we know that a is equal to 9, b is equal to minus 36 and c is equal to 44 and d is equal to minus 16. So first you add the roots. So what is usually we will take the roots or alpha, beta, gamma. So we will write alpha plus beta plus gamma. Now the roots are a minus d, a and a plus d. So if you add the roots, sum of the roots, what is the formula? Sum of the roots minus b by a. Okay, that is equal to minus of, what is gamma? B minus 36. So 36 by 9, that is equal to 4. Here if you add minus d and plus d getting cancelled. So 3a is equal to 4. From that a is equal to 4 by 3. Next, we are not going to consider two roots at a time. We will take the product of the roots. Product of the roots, what's the formula? Minus d by a. So minus of, your d is what? Minus 16. So minus of minus 16 plus 16 by 9. So when you multiply, you see, you take the middle term a, right, as it is. It is in the form of a plus b into a minus b. So that is a square minus b square. That is equal to 16 by 9. In the place of a, we have found it is 4 by 3. When you substitute and bring it to the right side, it is 3 by 4. Isn't it? So when you cancel, so 3 and 9 getting cancelled and 4 and 16 getting cancelled. So therefore you will get 16 by 9 minus d squared is equal to 4 by 3. And bring this 4 by 3 to the left side as minus 4 by 3. Bring this minus d squared as plus d squared to the right side. So if you take LCM, LCM is 9. So 16 minus 12. 16 minus 12 is 4 by 9. So d is equal to plus or minus 2 by 3. If you take a, we have found 4 by 3. And d, if you take the positive numbers, So the roots what we have taken, a minus d, so 4 by 3 minus 2 by 3, next a, so 4 by 3, a plus d. Okay, if we simplify, it is 2 by 3, 4 by 3, 2. In the reverse order, so ds minus 2 by 3 means here a minus of minus 2 by 3, that is plus 2 by 3. Here you will have 4 by 3 minus 2 by 3. So it will be in the reverse order. So therefore the roots are either you can write 2 by 3, 4 by 3, 2. Otherwise 2, 4 by 3, 2 by 3. In the same way, coming to the third problem, that is solve the equation. It's also a cubic equation if roots form a geometric progression. So the roots, how they are in GP. So GP means they have the common common ratio. So let the roots be a by r, a r. Consider the equation and write the coefficients a, b, c and d. So what you have to do, sum of the roots. So if you add all the roots, that formula is minus b by a. Here your minus b is 26 divided by 3. And if you take the product, it is minus d by a. So here it is 24 by 3, that is equal to 8. So in this left side, this r and r getting cancelled. So a cube is equal to 8 means a is equal to 2. The remaining roots are imaginary. The remaining two roots are imaginary. We'll consider the real root a is equal to 2. So a is equal to 2 means you substitute in the previous result. So it is 2 by r plus 2 plus 2r is equal to 26 by 3. So this 2 you take it to the next side. 2 by r plus 2r is equal to 26 by 3 minus 2. If you take LCM on the left side, r is the LCM. So 2 plus 2r squared is equal to, here also the LCM is 3. So 26 minus 6. So you are getting 2r squared plus 2 by r is equal to 20 by r. Cross multiply. So it is 2r squared into 3 is 6r squared plus 2 3s are 6 is equal to 20 into r. So arrange it as a quadratic equation. 6r squared minus 20r plus 6 is equal to 0 divided by 2, the whole equation. So 3r squared minus 10r plus 3 is equal to 0. So it's a quadratic equation, you have to factorize. So when you take the product, 3 3s are 9. And the addition is minus 10. So you will have the number minus 9 minus 1. So the coefficient is 3. If you divide it by 3, this 3 and minus 9 getting cancelled. So you will have minus 3 here. So it is r minus 3. This can be written as 3r minus 1 is equal to 0. So r is equal to 3 and r is equal to 1 by 3. Already we have found a is equal to 2. R is equal to 3 means a by r. So that is 2 by 3. And a, that is 2, and ar. So if you multiply 6, r is equal to 1 by 3 means it will come in the reverse order. So if the roots are in AP and GP, we will find the remaining roots. Okay, thank you students.